Okay, we are live, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, from wherever you are coming from. Thank you so much for joining us today. This should be a fun conversation. I don't think we're going to get too technical today, but we could talk a lot about what's going on, what we have going on as a group, and what's going on with NFTs in the Ethos Metaverse. So my name is Chris Benedict, COO at Finavant and the BioFi project. So again, thank you on behalf of our team. We greatly appreciate people giving us time out of their day, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this after the fact at your convenience. So I'm going to let the team introduce themselves today. So I'm going to go right around the clock here. On the top, I have Jeff. So Jeff, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I'm Jeffrey Monis. I am the co-founder and COO of Cyberlete, and yeah, that's it.
Okay. Schulte, you're up.
Hey, I'm Stolte, co-founder, CEO of Cyberlete, longtime gamer. I've been competitive gaming since late 90s. Jeff and I have been friends for over 20 years, and we have this vision together of Cyberlete, a social platform for gamers.
You guys want to talk a little bit more about your project before we go off to Mike, just high level so people understand what Cyberlete's all about?
Sure. Yeah, so basically, Cyberlete's a social network for gamers. We, Jeff and I have been in the gaming scene for a very long time, and we know what's missing. And so we've brought everything into one place. It'll be easy to find, tournaments. It's going to be easy to find friends to play with. We also are on the crypto side. So by playing, in our system, you earn crypto rewards. And a major factor for us is, verifying the gaming scene. Right now, it's a little body, and a lot of people are cheating to game the system. And tournament organizers are losing sponsorships over this. And so we're the solution that verifies the gamer that plays in these tournaments.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Mike, you're up.
How you doing? This is Mike DeCossola from Drone Industry Systems Corp. We go by DISC. I'm the CEO of the company. I've been working on a 10-year plan on this. We're on year 9, and this is pretty much been stretched out for this type of time period because we had to wait for FAA rules and everything else. But we're in the drone delivery of people and cargo. So drone to us is anything that's autonomous. So we're in the autonomous infrastructure solution, and this is where it is, in my opinion, mandatory that we figure out a way for blockchain, for metaverse, for how all these solutions allow for safety, security, and sustainability in the autonomy of delivery and transportation. And that's what we're working on.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. So for those, a little intro on BioFi and where we are in the ecosystem as well. What's interesting to know, why are these 3 projects together? And those who may not know us as well may not know that we came through the Constellation Accelerator program together. Constellation Networks put together their first accelerator program. They've run 2 of them now, to my understanding. They may have another one coming up. But we all met each other there, and we thought, wow, what a great opportunity to find ways to work together going forward. So when you talk about things like the metaverse, which we have our Ethos metaverse that we're evolving into an education and entertainment space, and working with Cyberlete and with DISC, we realized that there's definitely an opportunity to work together, bring information to people, because it's important that not only for BioFi, but for Cyberlete and for DISC, that there's a lot of utility built into what we do for our users and the folks in our combined ecosystems. So we have a vision that the ecosystem, the Ethos Metaverse, will be big. We'll have a lot of providers and partners in there. And it's a place that you can navigate using NFTs. You can navigate from one piece of it to another. and learn about DISC and learn about Cyberlete Gaming and what they have going on. If you're a gamer and you want to see how to protect yourself or participate in tournaments, they could probably help you out. So that's one of the reasons why, as a group, we are coming together. So I'm going to go back to the team now and ask them about, let's talk about your NFT collection a little bit. What's coming up? I'll start with Mike this time. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about the NFT collection and why it makes sense to partner with Cyberlete and with BioFi.
So for us, we're looking at really getting people to engage into the metaverse and start seeing the NFT values on how we can actually engage them into the next stage of delivery. So the racing drones to us is a great way to do that. We want to be able to create this simulation in the future where we can teach people how to fly drones. So right now the gaming side is a great segue.
Thanks, Mike. And Jeff or James, either of you guys want to comment on why Cyberlete is involved as well?
Sure. So our envision of the cyber athletes is to be like a guardian of the Ethos metaverse. So we're trying to protect everybody that's joining in to make a verified user, or make sure the gameplay is cheat free, not just for the casual, but for any competitive things that are going on in the environment of any world that's being created. That's kind of what we have envisioned. So the cyber athlete is our like branding, our robot, our thing is our branding, our like a representation of what Cyberly is. And that robot is like internally in the systems, and it's protecting everybody. It's pretty cool. A lot more lore to that.
Okay, great.
And we're
And
also, I
from
want to add in a little bit. We're also going
Please.
to utilize the metaverse in a lot of different ways. Ethos Metaverse is built in Unreal 5 and is connected to Web3, which allows us to do pretty much unlimited things. And our future work will be, we'll have arenas in the metaverse where you can see live esports matches. There'll be like games and fun stuff to do. So you can hang out with your friends in the metaverse, and not only hang out with your friends, but easily launch a game. So if you want to play Minecraft or Counter-Strike or any other popular game, it's just a click of the button in the metaverse. It opens up for you. Also, inside of that metaverse is going to be, this is like the first interoperable major metaverse. We want to be a part of that because, what Unreal 5 offers is unlike what anyone else offers in the developing side of things. Right now, Unity is actually charging people per download, so it's charging the developer per download of thing, and so they're kind of going off in the wrong way. And Unreal 5 is keeping on track, and they're going to keep the gates open for unlimited possibilities. We're excited about that.
That's great. I think that really helps. What I'm hearing is community, and that's important to BioFi, and that's important to you guys as well, is building a strong community and giving people a way to communicate and share. I think it's a great space that will evolve, that you can go in and play games with your friends, or you can watch a video with your friends, and you don't even have to leave the metaverse. You don't even have to leave that space to do it. You just click and open another window within it. The Ethos Metaverse, the Unreal Engine, we've already connected Wallet Connect to that. So that opens a whole host of possibilities, particularly around the NFTs, as we get them in there. Now, I guess the next question I'd ask is, Mike, how do you think you're going to leverage the Ethos Metaverse to let people know about this and expand your project beyond where it is today? Because I know you haven't launched yet, and the audience may not know that, but your actual token hasn't launched yet, and that's something that's coming up in the future. So, what are your plans to leverage the metaverse in order to get people to know about DISC and what you guys are all about? Mike, you're on mute.
That's better. I was talking sign language next. So using Unreal Engine, what that allows us to do is actually create a digital twin and be able to do predictive analytics, life cycle analytics, be able to offer real estate within the metaverse where we can actually start selling real estate for restaurants, retailers, and allow them to connect. We're building right now a system that will allow you to go through our drones that we're building, our doorbells, and you'll be able to operate them just like you'll be able to order them. You'll be able, as a customer, to order through the metaverse, but as an operator, you'll be able to operate through our hardware, and that will be through the metaverse. So duplicating locations where we can say, hey, would you like some real estate? Would you like to buy a landing pad? We're taking this next stage of delivery process to the metaverse, where you can interact not just by ordering, but by also being a vendor or an operator. And that's these are several IPs that we filed on this subject, because the way we look at this in the current aviation world, if you're up in the air, you can have a 5-minute delay on weather, and that's, to me, a threat. That is a threat of your life, your safety. So we need real time information. And the problem with that in aviation is they have something called pi reps. Pi reps are like a pilot, pi rep, right? Representing what the weather looks like. So literally, while they're flying, they're looking outside going, I see ice, I see snow. And that's how bad it is. So what we need to do is be able to create this node-centric mesh network. And this is where Constellation comes in. And everything to us is a node. So creating this metaverse, connecting to the real world, creating that nexus between the physical and the digital, can enhance that safety, security, and sustainability, because we can take that drone, we can take that landing pad, that charging station, that smart delivery doorbell, and we can actually see through the lens, through the metaverse into the real world. And that's what we're building right now. So this gives us real situational awareness, and literally taking that pi rep and making it a reality, where somebody who is flying or pre-flight authorizing to fly can actually see that arrival through the lens of that hardware within the metaverse, and having immutable data that can be uncontested later, that the actual observation was done. So these are all things that we're looking at.
Fantastic. I'm going to turn the mic back to Jeff and Stolte and ask a little bit more about their timeline and how they see the metaverse helping them expand their project. But before I do that, anyone who's watching us live right now, please feel free. If you have questions, just type them in and we'll address them as we go forward. If you have a burning question for any of the projects, please just let us know what it is, and we'll address it as soon as we can. So Jeff and James, again, back to you guys. Tell us a little bit more about what you think the Ethos Metaverse can help you expand your project.
I think a big thing is personal expression. With it being interoperable, you're able to buy NFT from any network, basically, and bring it to the Ethos Metaverse and act as an avatar. And I'm speaking as an NFT as if it's already an avatar. So you can bring the avatar over and, express yourself. I think that's, a great start. And, just kind of like point how we're working together with like Mike, and vision that we have a cathedral or like a coliseum, and there's a esports match going on. It's really big, and you have your avatars out in the audience. These avatars can walk away just like you would in real life, and they can go to the convenience area and say there's a pizza shop right there, and this pizza shop is a vendor that rented the spot in the metaverse. And so an avatar can come over to the spot and you can order your pizza. And, 20 minutes later, that pizza is being dropped off by Mike's drone. And this is all, in the metaverse. You can see it all happening in real time. I think that's a really fascinating part about what we're doing and why Constellation and the Unreal Engine is such a big key player in this to allow us to do these, new things that no one else is doing yet.
Thanks, James. Jeff, anything you want to add?
Not at this time.
Okay, great. So I'll add a little bit on behalf of the BioFi project. So the Ethos Metaverse is something that we are putting a lot of focus behind for a couple of reasons. I mentioned both education and entertainment, and as you can see, what Cyberlete is doing is entertainment based, but it's also education. How do you protect yourself online? How do you make sure you're not getting scammed in some of the gaming? Mike, on behalf of DISC, has a lot going on as far as education goes. He talks about safety and information that'll be delivered through his devices. So that's all important to the BioFi project to help bring that information together to people who may need it. We've already used the BioFi ecosystem on the entertainment side to develop with an outside partner racing. So currently, the BioFi doges are available to go online and use them to race against each other. It's a lot of fun. You can go race for AVAX, and the first three placers out of 9 win something in every race. So as we go forward with this group, you're going to be able to see the cyber athlete and the disc drones racing against the doges. Everyone will be available to be there. So we're bringing more utility and a lot of entertainment forward with the NFTs that are going to launch in the near future, and giving people some entertainment, some things to do with them that goes beyond just keeping them in a wallet and look at them every once in a while when you get a chance. We're really putting utility out there. The other thing is, the BioFi team, where Brian and I just came back from South Africa, and we are developing and delivering, for those of you who know, something called the Phoenix X. It's a mobile device that's specifically designed for the African market that will deliver utility, deliver applications, including DISC and Cyberlete and many others in the DeFi space, to give people access to DeFi and protocols that they may not have access to today. So that's the key there. But what we also seeing in how that ties into the metaverse is, right now the metaverse being on Unreal Engine is very graphics intensive. It's very realistic. And when you download the Ethos metaverse, you can see that. You can run around in there and see what's going on. What we're doing now is, on our timeline, is to see how do we make that more of a browser light type of solution, so people can still leverage the Ethos metaverse for education in the DeFi space or in the crypto space and learn about the different projects, learn about how do I buy a token, how do I sell it, how do I transfer it, how do I keep it secure in a wallet. All of those things are super important to people who are new to a DeFi ecosystem. So it's very important to us to make sure that we can educate people and keep them happy in that space. All right, what else? Okay, that's Open Racing. All right, that's openracing.cloud. So I would check that out if you're interested, if you already have a Doge, or you can plan for when these collections go live and you can pick one up and go into the racing. So any comments, guys, on the racing that you'd like to make on Open Racing before we go on?
Yeah, I think the open racing is pretty neat. Haven't looked too much into it myself, other than testing it out, making sure it works great. It's kind of, it reminds me of the Zed Run. The Zed Run's really fun, and I think bringing in the cool part. What makes it different than Zed Run is you're able to use different NFTs, and they're all the same. They all not the same speed, but they all have the same attributes, so it's fair. It's a fair race, and it's not just one type of NFT running it. You got cyber athletes, you got the dogs, you got the drones, and there's more planned. I think there's some frogs coming into this. Not the yeah, and that's just the start. And kind of talk about that a little bit more with the Ethos Metaverse. There's only a few projects in it right now. There's other few that aren't being talked about. I'm sure I know of a couple, and this is the start. And by owning one of these NFTs, you get access to this metaverse that's going to be connected to a lot more than just 4 or 5 companies. Soon you're going to see, I believe, hundreds of different companies, and this is going to be interoperable. And this is your pass to participate in that and be a part of this new online revolution.
That's a really good point, Schulte. Thanks. Mike, any comments?
Well, what I love about it is it doesn't end. Like you can add new skins to it. You can change, the attributes. You can collect these based on the limited edition amount for each product that we are distributing. So
Mhm.
it becomes a collector's type product, but it's also an engaging and interactive and an exciting product that you can actually work and, going back to what you said, socialize with others, but in a whole new level with the way gaming and NFTs and how we can interact in this social environment. I think it's an exciting thing because it's not boring in the sense that you're just going to keep doing the same product. You can add to it. You can say, well, let's add this feature, let's add that feature, and those limited editions you want to be on top of. If you're going to get into it and you're going to want to be at the very beginning of it, you're going to say, hey, you know what, I need to grab that before somebody else does, because when it's not available, I have it. And that's part of the fun, right? It's
Mhm.
not just the interaction and the playing, but it's like, I have this and I know they're not making that anymore. That's
Right.
that's kind of like the exciting part of it. So that's the part I like, actually.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because just imagine back to the esports arena and you're watching, say, like a
Schulte, we lost your mic.
all right, got it. Thank you.
You're back.
Just imagine, a big Fortnite tournament, and there's 100 watching, and each one of those people who have, walked over to the vendor and ordered their food, as they're back in the audience sitting there, they're going to have Mike's drones coming in. You'll see an animation of a drone coming down, and that just tells all the other users, "Oh, that dude just got some pizza, or he got something yummy." What got a personal drone that comes down and drops his food in the metaverse. This is the start, and it's a very exciting future.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. So for community members that are interested in the NFTs, guys, what can we tell them? How will they be able to get a hold of them, and what do we need to tell them today?
What is the website to be able to get that? I'm not
Oh,
sure.
okay. That's a good question. I should know this one. Give me a second and I'll have it. But they're coming up soon. Let me get you the landing page link and we'll put it in there. Um,
Okay, and as he's
got
doing that,
it.
there's gonna be 10,000 cyber athletes, and I think there's gonna be 10,000 drones. The numbers may be different. I'm not sure. But as I mentioned earlier, all the stats are the same. So you have your speed, you have your endurance, you have your luck, you have a couple other attributes. Can't name off the top of my head. But these are all randomly generated through who does that?
It's the chain link VRF.
The Chainlink
That's a really
VRF, that's
important.
right.
That's a really important thing to mention. That's right. It's a good point, Schulte. All of the NFTs are generated through the VRF, so they are randomly generated in not only how they look, but in the attributes that they come with: speed, luck, and endurance. So there's no way to game that system. And the races themselves also leverage Chainlink's VRF, so that they can. There's a randomization in every race, so that there's no way for one NFT to have an advantage over all of the others. So it's a great point. It's fair gaming.
Very fair. And as far as the random rolls on the NFTs, we use 64 different colors, and there's multiple different pieces on the NFT that can be colored. So there's hundreds of millions of different options. So it's very likely that your NFT is the same as somebody else's NFT, and it's gonna come back to your personal experience and your expression.
Right.
So you say you roll an all pink NFT or a color that you don't personally like, you can sell that NFT and then buy the color that you do like if you aren't able to roll what you like.
Right. Okay, I'm coming up with a link. Give me just a second.
What's nice about that also is that you're going to be able to choose the amount that you want to forward in terms of your pool of, I'll put $5 down for this race, I'll put 10, and it's like however much money you're ready to put into this, you find an additional 8 people, and that is the case still, right? That's 8 people on the total of 9.
Total of 9. That's right. So
So
the way the racing work, as soon as the 9th person enters each race, the race will go. We'll go off, and it'll be complete in a few seconds.
yeah, and see the beauty of that is that you can turn around and choose the pool you want to be in. I don't want to spend more than $1 on this one, but I have 3 chances to win. It's 3 different levels, right?
Right. That's right. The person who wins gets 4 times their entry fee. The person who comes in second gets double, and the person who comes in third gets a little bit more than break even. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of winning something.
Yeah, and the beauty of that part is that you're not just playing an NFT now. You're not just socializing. You're having a real fun opportunity to make something off of this whole thing and just
Right.
keep playing. And what I like about the cheating part of it, how it's prevented, so because the algorithms are choosing anonymously. It's not, you're not having one advantage over another. Well, I wound up getting this NFT because it's faster, it has more endurance, and then all of a sudden you're dominating every game. It doesn't work that way with the attributes. So
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I took
Okay.
part on a few of these races, during private testing, and I was surprised because I put in a real dominant, athlete that had max speed, max endurance. It was really fast, and I lost. I didn't even get third place. And the NFT that won was a drone with really low speed and endurance and all these other things, but it had 99% luck. So it won the race because of that 99% luck. It's just all
Yeah.
random. There's nothing like you can't guarantee that you're going to win the race because you have the best stats always.
Right. And another interesting thing about the attributes to keep in mind is going forward, there will be different environments that they race in. So we may create a planet where it's got heavy gravity, or it'll be bad weather or something like that. And the different attributes will perform differently in different environments. So that'll keep it
Different
interesting.
terrain too. Different terrain.
Exactly right. So it'll
That's
be
cool.
interesting, but what we want to do is keep it fair. We didn't want the drones to be because they fly to have the biggest advantage. They're built exactly the same way the Doges and the cyber athletes are. So
Yeah.
everyone's on equal footing when we go forward in the racing.
A prime example of that would be, for example, the drone in real life. If the weather's cold, it's taking away the actual energy from the battery.
Right.
So now these are situations where you could say, hey, the environment right now, the ambient temperature is 30 degrees.
Hmm.
What did that do to the attribute of that drone's power
Right.
resources, right? So
Yeah.
you might have a gravity issue, right? And gravity comes in different forms. Like for instance, if I'm sitting on an AGL, meaning above ground level, if my drone is 300 feet up versus just 10 feet up, it's colder the higher you go.
Right.
And so these are different things that you would have to take into account. But that was a good example that you brought up because we can just change everything as we go.
That's right. That's right. I'm trying to see if I can do a quick share. If you guys will give me a moment to look at the landing page here. Okay. So if you come to the landing page, this is what you'll see. It's kind of an announcement. It talks a little bit about the Ethos Metaverse, talks about the collectibles, both Doge Run drones and Cyberlete, and you can get a feel for what they're going to look like. Now, the Doges have been out there for a while, so you guys have seen them. There's, a handful of different breeds and colors, so they look pretty cool. The drones are going to have a lot of randomization. They're all randomization in how they come out. There's actually another type of drone. There's one other, and the cyber athletes, very cool. They're going to have different colors in their schemes as they're generated through the VRF. So there's a lot of fun you can get. Who knows what you're going to get
Real briefly, if you
when you mint it? So it's going to be cool.
briefly keep that screen up for a moment.
Yeah.
The Cyberlete avatar you see there, this is our first, gen. In the future, as Cyberlete gets bigger, these avatars you'll be able to upgrade them. We don't necessarily have the full thing, planned out, but it'd be like a serum or something that's, a typical NFT you might see. And so you might be able to change like later in the future, update the graphics, because that's, another part of the Unreal Engine is you're not going to be stuck with 2023 tech. When 2027 comes around, you can have your 2027 avatar in all the glorious definition.
Right. Awesome. Anything else to add, guys? Okay, we're going nice and smooth here. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing that for the time being, and I'm going to open up the floor to see if you guys have any final comments. I'm going to also give the folks who are watching an opportunity to ask any last questions. We'll just wrap it up here in a few minutes. But Mike, I'll go to you first. Anything you want to add before we wrap it up today?
Well, in anything, if you get to something at ground level, there's always an advantage, right? So those of you who are paying attention to what we're working on and actually are enjoying what we're trying to achieve together collectively as with our three companies, our objectives, our goals, and our technologies together, you're really coming in at the ground level. And ground level is so important because you get so many advantages from ground level. As we build these things, James was talking about how in 2027 you're going to have a 2027 avatar, but you might have the 2023 avatar that nobody else has. So this is where coming in early, very important, because we are going to make limited editions on all this stuff. And every time we come up with a new series, you're at ground level, and collecting a portfolio of this stuff, something I would be considering myself. So that's all I gotta say.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
And it's really important to point out that this is like buying this is like going to a retail store and picking up a copy of a video game. This is your copy. This is your license to the metaverse. And it's not just our game. It's drones, it's Doges, it's everyone's metaverse. And that's not, you can't go buy a video game like Call of Duty and then go play Skyrim. You can only play Call of Duty. But with these NFTs that we have, they're interoperable with the metaverse. So you can buy your drone avatar and you can go, visit the Skyrim community if they were to happen to have a metaverse on the Ethos. And you can take your Cyberlete avatar and go hang out with the drones, and say there's a secret, I don't know, say there's like a secret club over the drone metaverse and a lot of cool people, and you want to be a part of that. Well, now you can be a part of that because you have the access.
Great comments. Jeff, anything you want to add?
Sure. I'm just very excited to be a part of like witnessing the building of like an idea in a video game to cyber worlds, to cyber athletes, to like all of it into where it is today. So I just want to humbly say thank you all for doing this stuff. Yep.
Great. And, on behalf of the BioFi team, thanks everyone for joining us. What I'd say is, the Ethos Metaverse and how we go forward with this is relatively open. We want to make it enjoyable. We want to make it as a team, right? As the projects that are here today. We want to make it useful and we want to make it compelling. So as our audience, if you have questions, if you have suggestions and things you'd like to see in there, get in touch with any of us through Twitter, through Telegram, whatever. We all have multiple channels, so just get in touch with us and let us know what you'd like to see. And if it's something we can build and we find it useful and it'll bring community together, that's the big thing: community together and utility. If it achieves those goals, we will give it a good look together and get it in there for you in the future. So again, thank you everyone for joining us. Mike, James, Jeff, thank you guys for spending some time with me here today.
Real quick,
And,
real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Before you end it, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
just read chat. I clicked on the comments box and I can see chat. And Casey asked a question: will the skins be multifunctional as a gaming skin? So yeah, we plan on our side, the Cyberlete Athlete. We want to put that into games like Fortnite. We want to put that into other major title games. So yes, that is part of our plan.
Okay.
Thanks.
And
Thanks you,
that's a
Chris.
great comment. I can see the Doges evolving a little bit from a user interface perspective as well. They've been out there for a while. They're relatively simple, and we'd love to be able to do some upgrades and skinning and things like that. The important part to know is when we do things like that, you know, they'll be in game. They'll be things that we can monitor through or we can manage through the user interface as opposed to through the smart contracts, where the smart contracts generate the attributes and so forth, the things that stay the same, so that each NFT collection can compete against each other on a fair basis. So thanks, Stolte, for picking up that question.
Yeah.
So again, everyone, thanks. Keep in touch and pay attention. You know, if you're not following any of these three projects, you should, number one, be following them all. But definitely give a follow on Twitter, Telegram, and so forth, because these collections, there's a lot more information coming in the very near future. And as soon as we are ready, we will give you all the full details. So everyone, thanks for joining today. Enjoy the rest of your day or your evening. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Take care.
everybody.
Ciao, everybody.